Hello Taurus, welcome to your August reading and welcome to Leo season. I'm Elizabeth Ashley, the Secret Healer, and welcome to my channel, list of essential oils and their uses. And today I'm doing you a reading for August, looking at the astrology but finding ways to navigate the challenges using my cards, the Tongue of the Trees cards. Which essential oils will be most useful to help you deal with the challenges of the month? So I'm going to draw you 13 cards because we use a spread called the Ring of the Trees spread, and it was originally designed for, I'm a pain practitioner actually, clinical aromatherapist and a pain practitioner, and I designed this to spiral backwards when somebody's got a lot of pain in their physical body, but MRIs and things don't show up any reasons why it might be. We look at the emotional undercurrents, and these help to bypass the conscious mind and work with the unconscious mind. And so here we go. Oh, need to make sure my pendant is correct. So let's draw you 13 cards and we'll see what oils will be most useful for you this month. So your first card, orange. Everybody's getting orange. Beautiful. Sisters. That's number 2. Number 3 is turmeric. Beautiful. One of my favourites, coriander. Cardamom is number 5. And I'll read all these out to you and then I will show you the reading. You'll be able to see the cards. Oh, you've got loads and loads of lovely seeds, spikenard. Seeds tend to be new beginnings. Laurel. Angelica. So that's 9. 10 is tea tree. 11 is galbanum. 12 is cedarwood Virginian. Beautiful card for a beautiful oil. Usually means determination. And often the 12th card that comes out is how you're feeling at the moment. Do you feel determined in life? And then mandarin. That's interesting. That was Aries' first card. It's your last card, your outcome. Lovely playfulness. Now, that's great because this month is not going to be an easy month. When we look at the astrology, it's kind of a game of two halves, really. The retrogrades, the Mercury retrograde, the Venus retrograde are over. The eclipses have gone finally, and so the beauty stuff, the money stuff, the communication stuff, all of that's starting to move forward. But what we're going to see as we go through the month is Mars is going to go into shadow, then ready to go into retrograde at the end of the month. So things are going to start slowing down, but things are also going to get more tense because Mars is going to come into alignment with your 9th house, which is where all of this stuff with Saturn and Pluto and Jupiter is all going on. This is all the tension that's affecting the whole of the planet. And so all of that is going to come together, and Mars is also going to have quite a difficult aspect with the black moon. So what's the black moon? I will tell you that when I turn around the camera in a minute and we'll have a look at the cards. So if this is your first time using the Tongue of the Trees cards, what will happen is I'll give you a reading, and then at the end I will give you some slides with recipes for you to use from the insights of the oils. So bear with me, I'll turn it round in a second. Hi Taurus. Right, hopefully you can see your cards okay. Let's quickly run through which one's which. So this is number 1 card. So kind of this is a nice place to start because look, you've got positivity in the beginning and at the end. But I have to say, like every sign, August is going to be a really difficult month. It's a game of two halves, as they say in soccer or football if you are English, because we have all the heavy stuff that is playing out in the same place as it has been before, which is your 9th house. So Saturn is in Capricorn, and then we've got Pluto in there too, and Jupiter's impacting on it. Then Mars gets involved as well. Mars is in your 12th house, and so I just think that that's very, very difficult stuff. But the planets that are in retrograde are slow moving planets. So unlike Mercury and Venus, which are not very easy to deal with, and we had those last month, they're going to start going forwards. And actually Mercury and Venus make some lovely harmonious aspects in your chart this month. So we have all that lovely stuff, but then we have the hard stuff. And you can see that actually laid out here. This is happening pretty much with everybody's readings this time, that almost can't see the future. What I can see is strategies, aromatic strategies. So what here, all of these yellows, the seeds, we've got sweet fennel, cardamom and coriander. And seeds tend to talk about new beginnings, really. And what's interesting is Mars is in your 12th house, which is unseen things, things without form. So I think that something is probably going to come out of nowhere. And I have to say, when I'm looking at all the stuff that's going on in your 9th house, I think we can probably say it's somebody lurking who's maybe going to sue you or bring some kind of legal construct into place. And it's not nice. I've got to tell you, it's not nice. And the fact that Sisters comes up in the 2nd spot makes me think that you are absolutely fine, and it comes out of nowhere and you think, oh my goodness, not again, this old thing. I tell you what it reminds me of. There was a period in my life where I was with an awful man, and he racked up a lot of debts and then did a runner. And then out of nowhere, about 10 years later, bailiffs started turning up on my doorstep for that money. You know, it came from nowhere. It belonged to the past, and it knocks you for 6. These here, these are big guns. The purples, we don't take those lightly at all. And look how they're surrounding, you know, they're holding you firm. And although cardamom, we underrate cardamom sometimes. I can never sell it strong enough because its name is contentment, and it's like a non-word, isn't it, contentment? But it's a lack of worries, a lack of fear, a lack of need for haste, you know, all of those things taken, just sitting there and be. If you bear in mind that they're at the 4 quarters for you, if you wanted those as sentinels, they are absolutely beautiful. But we've got here, look, laurel, and can you see over there, cedarwood Virginian. That's ruled by Jupiter, that's ruled by Sagittarius. Both of those belong to the 9th house. So on one hand, we can say we expect that there will be philosophical stuff, there will be need for higher learning, for you know, wanting to experience culture. It could be travel. But my feelings is it's judiciary, authority, coming from nowhere, you know. And I feel like probably because we've got this, this old thing again, your immediate gut response will be to say, just, if I just ignore it, it will go away. And I can tell you now, it's not going to go away. If you consider that Mars is involved in your 12th house, Mars has bought whatever that is there for a reason. And Mars demands action. So I'm not saying go to war, but I am saying sit up, take notice, answer the paperwork, make the phone call. And it's interesting that what we see here is these beginnings of something new. And I don't know whether these things, you know, you are a stubborn sign, Taurus, and potentially you've been ignoring these things for a while, thought they'd gone away and they've come back. And I think you'll feel freedom by addressing them, to be honest. These seems like the seeds of something really lovely, although sweet fennel is more usually about helping you finish something when you're exhausted. So, Mercury is in your 4th house, so that's to do with home and the family. Have I got that right? Yeah, and then Venus is in Cancer, which is just beautifully exalted, but that's in your 3rd house. So that's to do with the outer world, communications, and, you know, maybe forms that have got to be filled in, emails have got to be sent, phone calls that have got to, and it's just tedious, you know, and you just think, I've had enough of this. If you get to that point, you think, right, I just can't do this anymore, it's just bogging me down, then sweet fennel is beautiful. And I do think it's worth pointing out that coriander is a great oil from the point of view that it's good for creativity, it's good for wearing your big girl pants, you know. Its poem talks about how people have a go because he's just a seed, he's not big enough and smart enough to be in a salad, and so he does what he needs to do to grow up to be what he needs to be. And so from that point of view, we usually say, oh, it's fun to grow, but I think in this reading it's, you absolutely need to grow up. You need to take notice of what's going on. These things, you know, the 12th house, as I say, is unseen, formless things, but it's also secrets, and probably secrets that you've been keeping, and those secrets are coming back to haunt you. And as I say, probably in a judiciary way. But you know, all the other signs have got loads and loads of light oils. And whilst you have got light oils, most of it is about, I think you're going to feel really scared by the whole thing. This is such a powerful card to be in number 7. And turmeric is a really powerful one. Turmeric's not really an oil that I use myself. It's not in my healing clique. It's one of Gerglace, who's my co-creator. So let's see what turmeric actually says, because it doesn't speak easily through me. It says, placidly, you've searched long and hard. You know what you want, but you just can't find it. I know. I can feel how your stomach is churning. Your heart has tied itself up in knots. Others might have quit by now, but you're diligent, I can see. Maybe you've pushed a bit too far. Maybe you've raced too hard. Your body seems to be ailing, and I sense your spirits start to wane. I think you need to relax a bit and settle into the flow. The universe can't keep up. You're moving faster than it can go. Slow down and hear the beat. The cosmos wants to dance. Find patience in my heat. Let my sunshine give you reassurance. It's ruled by Mars. So Mars again is about, it's funny because the poem says, relax, stop fighting, but it's saying bide your time, really. I think that is. So I don't know. In one way, I hope whatever comes to you so you can say, well, Liz, you're absolutely right about that, but I don't think it's nice what's coming. So you must act. And this card has turned up in absolutely every reading, all 12 readings. Determination. And I think it's really important to go back at the end of this reading and look at the beginning again, mainly because of my headdress, that you should see the sun again. But I want you to read again the quote that comes up at the beginning about the sun doctor. The sun doctor knows what to do consciously. He knows how to stay out of hell. This is not a moon doctor kind of month.
We don't go searching for problems. We deal with everything carefully and head on. And bear in mind where Saturn is. Saturn is in Capricorn. Capricorn is the accountant. He dots the I's, he crosses the T's. If I used to work in recruitment, and we used to do these psychometric evaluations, and ideally if somebody worked in sales, they would have a high D and an even higher I, so a dominant personality with a high influencer. S's were they tended to be HR people, you know, they needed lots of evidence. But C's are always the hardest to sell to, and I tell you now, C should stand for Capricorn. Actually, it stands for commanding personality. But these people take a long time to be convinced by anything. They are diligent, they are slow, they go by evidence that they see with their own eyes. So a reference isn't going to cut it with them. They want to see over a period of time that you are delivering the goods. And bear in mind that this is happening in Leo season, and Capricorn says, do the work. Absolutely do the work. The Sun says, consciously do the work. That is, pick up that phone. Don't wait for it to happen. Make that phone call yourself. Send that email. Don't wait for the bailiff to knock at the door. Deal with it, because they are lurking outside. And I do think, I don't know if I'm repeating myself now, if you look at any of the horoscopes this month for August, a lot of people feel the same way as that I do, that trouble is brewing. And it's and two halves. You've got trouble brewing for absolutely everyone, depending on where it is in your sign. But also then there is just radiance. The rest of the month is so light, and it's like the universe is balancing itself out. Yours is at home. You've just got lovely, I mean, kind of the other thing we can say here is all these yellows, this is earth medicine. This is what happens at home. This is nurturing. So you're going to have so much support with doing this. You know, maybe this is from an old relationship. We just see. Yeah, it's to do with 9th house. So don't think it's really happening at work. You have got a full moon in Aquarius, which is your 10th house. But again, that's not your everyday income. That's your vocation. And that's lovely. You know, if you you focus on your work and moving forward and seeing this as an opportunity to cut the ties with the past, whatever this is, whether it's an old bill or an ex or a divorce, or I do think we're cutting ties with the past. And I do think this is real dark night of the stole medicine, definitely. But make no mistake, everybody's got it. Everybody's got it. And this is another one that keeps turning up. And this is an oil that really, if you bear in mind that the sacredness of this, it's the Egyptians' most powerful medicine. It rules Osiris, the god of death. It's where you go into the underworld. And to reiterate, like I do every month, that the underworld is not hell. The underworld is subconscious. That you go back to the past, the places with the doors that you are frightened to open, and you look inside and you scream, who am I? Galbanum gets you answers. And who you are right now is a result of your history, definitely. And this is who you've been hiding from. And maybe who you're hiding from is you, of course. I know how that can be. I am one of the world's worst from hiding from myself. But we mustn't bury our head in the sand. We must take conscious decision. Use the sun medicine. Say, right, okay, what would the sun doctor do? Am I being a sun doctor or a moon doctor? Am I taking steps to stay out of hell? Or am I taking that slippery slope that's going to take me to a place because I have ignored it? Ignoring is the place to hell this month. But look, at the end, you've got a lovely outcome. And this is the harvest. This is the fruit after the harvest. You know, this is the earth medicine. We've gathered in the fruit, and there is fruit left. And there is playfulness. And it's like a party atmosphere, but it's not like Lime's Mardi Gras. It's dignified. It's sitting in raffles with our head held high, wearing stainless clothes, beautifully pressed, feeling respectful, looking respectful, and everybody thinking, well, yes, you've come out of that really nicely. Beautiful. So I just think that you are going to feel really overwhelmed with the amount of information that comes to you. Whatever this is that comes knocking, you are going to have that much paperwork to do with it, and you are going to feel like you are getting sunk. If that's the case, this is your friend, right? If you start thinking, why me? What did I do to deserve this? Gal Badem says, I'll show you. I'll show you exactly what you did, because it's time to face it. If you think, right, okay, this has come back again. I am so sick of this coming back to bite me. Sister says, yeah, you're right. It was traumatic before. It doesn't need to be traumatic before. It's not the same this time. The universe does not have the same objectives as it had last time. And we are expecting you to deal with it this time. And Coriander says, yeah, it's time to raise up and put your big girl pants on. You might be a seed, but you can grow into something really strong and powerful. And Turmeric says, along with Angelica, remember Angelica is the death of the old life, the beginning of the new. Spikenard is the most, do not underplay, the most effective oil for fear. These are very scary medicines. This is a scary medicine. This is a scary medicine. So if you had that with you, you are so well looked after, so well cared for. So actually, the other deliberate action that you should be taking, not just filling those forms in, is using your oils. Use them every single day. And if you think, right, okay, well, what blends? Well, obviously I'm going to put those on the slides for you. But when there is fear, these are your darlings. When you want your big girl pants on, these are your darlings. When you want to feel uplifted, these are your darlings. But when you think, right, okay, what do I have left? What is it that I have that sparkles and makes me victorious? Laurel. And if you really, really want to get into the grittiness of, excuse my language, what the fuck is going on here? Tea tree will help you get insights into this, because the universe is kicking everybody. There's no doubt about it. Thank goodness for Gaia giving us these medicines, and for, actually, I know it sounds very obnoxious, but for giving me the talents to put these into these cards, because I'm telling you, I wouldn't be surviving right now without them. I feel so strange all of the time, and just to be able to lay out the cards and say that's what's happening is so helpful. If you haven't got a pack yet, I heartily recommend it. But don't go forward without your oils this month. I've just changed where those are going. Yeah, I just wanted to point out as well that because all of this stuff is happening in your 9th house, losing the power of speech, incidentally, that was not meant to be a pun. I wouldn't be surprised if you start to feel nervous system issues. The 9th house is the arterial system. There's nothing there that makes me think that there might be problems with your arteries, but these will get your blood pressure down, definitely. Nerves and thighs, though, definitely. If you're getting achy legs, then I would immediately go to these same nervous oils. These as well are digestive, which in times of stress, and particularly ninth house and authority rules the liver. I haven't written that on my list, but that is liver. Look at the jaundiceness of those cards, if there is a word as jaundiceness. I think it's probably jaundice. But so we need to look after our liver. So actually, although this isn't coming out in the reading, I'm going to say to you, if you think, right, I am really feeling stressed here, and you think you might be feeling stress-related conditions, so maybe it's playing out with migraine, maybe it's playing out with eczema, arthritis, all of those things are becoming more difficult, then I would say to you to perhaps go and get yourself some vitamin B complex and some vitamin C to help it to absorb, because that is fuel for the liver and it will really, really help. But like I say, I know it does sound awful, it definitely does, but you have got really good helpers here. I think you are going to, if you go and spend your money on the essential oils, to be honest, and bear in mind, you're not buying them from me, but I will get a commission if you get them from Fragrant Earth. But if you go and buy your essential oils and you use them and you work hard at using them, then I think that you'll come out of this feeling A-okay and not unscathed, but I don't think you're going to feel damaged. I think you're going to feel much stronger for it. You know, what's interesting is if we look at Angelica. Angelica's a bit like German chamomile. Look at the stem. The stem is so thin. It looks like it can't sustain it, but you try and break it. It's really difficult to break. It's rock hard, really. And so that's the fortification of an oil like that. You know, that takes that medicine and says, I will stand tall. I will stand tall and you will not move me. And the same applies for the cedar woods. These are real sentries. I think you're really well protected. I'm looking forward to writing your blends. So I'll put the slides at the end of the reading. But if you do need me, look in the description below and jump on a call to me and I'll be happy to help you. And of course, buy yourself the cards and the Tongue of the Trees cards if you want to be able to read them like I can.
So hopefully you found that interesting and helpful. If you would like to get your own Tongue of the Trees box of cards, obviously I'd love you to do that. It pays for my work here. I'm going to put a link to my website below and you'll be able to see where to be able to get those from. And also, if you want to go more deeper into the reading and start to understand the medical astrology and the elements, the Ayurvedic and the traditional Chinese medicine, as well as the chakras and the blending, you might also want to buy the knowledge base that goes with it. The knowledge base is a digital platform. It's like an online set of videos where I talk you through absolutely every aspect of the different essential oils. So there's around about 40 videos. It's a separate purchase, but obviously it's an immediate download if you want to be able to access that. So thank you. If you also want to have your own reading, please do check out my website, thesecrethealer.co.uk, and book yourself an hour-long consultation and I will do you your own reading. For the meantime, I'm going to say goodbye. Say goodbye to the sun goddess, because next month it will be the Melissa, the goddess, the priestess that officiated at Demeter Cor's festival of the autumn in ancient Greece, the mysteries of Eleusis. See you in Melissa land.
So you get your phone and turn it this way up, and then there's a little red subscribe button. Turn it grey by clicking it, and then there's a little bell. Click that and press all at the bottom of your phone or tablet or computer. It will say you will receive all notifications, and then there's a little hand with a thumbs up. Click that, it'll turn it blue and it says added to your liked videos, and there will be comments, and if you want to you can send a comment and say like hi's to mum and dad, like, and then the link to the next video will be in the description below underneath the video. So bye.